Right, so without further ado, so this man that I'm going to introduce now has already done a very short taster session just before lunch, and by God did he wake everybody up going into lunchtime. John Burkhart is best known for being an award-winning international keynote speaker, strategist and author of Newsjacking. And through his consultancy, TBC Global, he helps brands rethink the way they do business so that they stand out with a more impactful story. And certainly this man is impactful. There is no doubt about that as he warms up. This has included working also with a number of the WPP agencies, is how obviously I've got to know John. And over the last decade, he's travelled to numerous countries, inspiring clients like Microsoft, Santander, Deloitte, Salesforce, to be more audacious in what they do, to be braver. He's also one of the very few to have spoken at South by Southwest 10 times, and now serves on their advisory board. He's fresh back from Cannes. So you can find him, sort of his work, in places like Rolling Stone, Fast Company and The Guardian. So without further ado, I give you John Burkhart.
Liz, thank you. Wow. I just noticed there's like a big triangle out that way. So I feel a little bit dizzy. Does anyone else struggle with like altitude sickness or whatever? Yes, Rita? Yeah. So I was going to say this is the highest I've ever been giving a keynote, but it isn't because that I was on floor 24 of the Big Shard, and I am nervous that you guys will be a tougher audience than they were, because I've already had some banter with some PwC folk and some people who are actually from WPP watching my every move to make sure I don't break anything, which I can't promise. Again, how many were here for the teaser this morning besides Tim? Anyone raise a hands? Yeah, so literally 10% of you. Okay, so to recap, basically we're going to talk about events. I have not shoehorned stuff in here for event people because I work with event people. I come up with ideas for events. I speak at events. I help program South by Southwest, and I need to update my bio because I've spoken there 14 times. So that's how old my bio is there. But what I would love to excite you about is I'd love for you to take away 3 things that you'll go back as you run events for various brands, and you'll be like, I'm going to try that in a brainstorm, and people will look at me funny, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because it is hard standing out. It's also hard getting the clicker to work, but essentially no one has room in their brains because their brains are full of like, why wasn't I at my kid's sports day? You know, they're full of regret and lots of negative thoughts. In fact, we'll get into how many in a wee bit. But yeah, essentially a lot of the stuff we do is not that meaningful to real people. And we don't do stuff that fills people with wonder. But I would like you to take away 3 things that will help you. And there's about 10% of people who know what these numbers mean, but I think these numbers are quite important for me to recap from the morning session. And that is business leaders, the people you're trying to get for your events, they actually don't have time for you because their thoughts, they have 70,000 thoughts. And guess how many are repetitive, as in thoughts from yesterday? 90%. And of all of those, 80% are negative. So we've got this real issue, and what I'm about to present to you may be fearful. It may produce fear in a lot of people because it's about being curious, it's about being different. And if you do that right, you will create these loyal fans who come to all of your events. Just as a little thing, because basically, if there's a light blue slide, it means that's something for you to remember. So you'll see some, and then the rest is just me showing off. Just a little kind of color coding. Ooh, light blue slide. Okay. This is literally all you're going to take away, which is basically curiosity is just asking, what if we did this? What if we had a freaking Memphis via Ealing for the last 23 years speaker throw things at us? And then being different is saying, I'm so in love with this idea. It's so different. Like, you've got my attention. You've surprised me. You've filled me with that drug we're going to talk about, the D drug, which I love. And I just want to know what's coming next. The story of your event is so magical. I just want to know what's coming next. And finally, if this is done right and you've created true community, and not only is your client going to say, we're going to do this next year, but we're going to make it 1 louder or 11 times louder, that's when you have a kinetic community. That's when you have fans of your event. And that's when they're literally saying to you, Joe, saying to you, Rita, what can we do? What can we do to make this bigger with you next year? And sometimes that doesn't happen, and it's frustrating. So again, just to recap my skills, I don't have very many of them. I just have curiosity as my chief weapon, but it is weapons grade, which means sometimes I struggle with focus. I could be training up speakers to be better communicators one day, coming up with event ideas the next, but it's just how I roll. And I'm going to a 10-year anniversary party for an events company, and half of the people aren't even going to be there because they're busy running events. So it's busy, it's hard. We're very, potentially, I'd even say, overworked in this industry, but our curiosity is our weapon, and I know that you guys have that in spades. And I would like to help you with up in number 3 and up in number 1, and I literally have nothing today. It would be another workshop if I could cover leadership and emotional intelligence. So maybe Liz or someone else can help you with those, because I just can't cover it in the 33 minutes I have left with you. I'm curious about what? I'm curious, I met Ilya from Estonia just today, and I just wanted to know how to spell his name. I love words, I love spelling, I love all that. I was a spelling bee champ. I'm curious about words, part of the reason I do my speaking thing. I'm also curious about danger. I'm curious about health and safety and the lack thereof. I got to fly planes across the Thames. Where's the Thames? Is it near? I think it's near, somewhere over there. Where is it? Over there, yeah, over there. So yeah, exactly. So sometimes the stars align and we do a magical event, and sometimes you're saying, wait a second, John, I work for a pharmaceutical company. I don't care about Red Bull at all. Well, as Liz said, I hope that we can make ties in for some of the bravery here, and also I've literally put in some of my favorite pharma, financial, B2B stuff as well to try to make this interesting for everyone. But yeah, I got to fly planes around cones on the Thames working for Red Bull, but my life hasn't always been that dynamically different. I did go to South by Southwest, and I was obsessed, so obsessed with social media at the time, and they kind of were the first conference to use Twitter, South by was, and I basically wrote a book called that, which, by the way, I'm going to be giving out to people who interact with me, not just front row people. That could be Tim on the back row. That could even be Kate Love. It could be anyone. Stay. That's how things are going to go today. But yeah, this is about, this went really down well with events people, because essentially people live tweet events. And this was the first book written about everyone's gathered at this thing. A lot of them were sport-related things. Like the first example was the Super Bowl. The first thing that put my book on the map was, believe it or not, a stadium in America went dark. And does anybody know this story? What brand? Newsjacked was what I called it. The stadium going completely black. Imagine 70,000 people in a stadium and literally not an ounce of power. Anyone guess what brand, quote unquote, newsjacked that? No guesses? Might not even tell you. Might just hold that on for the suspense. It was Oreo. They said you can still dunk in the dark. You literally don't even need light, Tim. You can just keep on dunking. But I was telling my PwC guys, until I realized I don't want to ruin the surprise, Asda decided we care about England fans. They decided we want to help them at the event that is called the World Cup. For a Bright Ideas business card, which is just literally a stress ball that's a light bulb, can someone come up here and grab this from me and give one reason why that is a bad design? Someone, I'm literally going to hold it up. Don't say a word, just come up and grab my bulb. Come on, grab my bulb. I see some smiles, but I want someone to commit to why there's a design flaw on that. Someone. Oh, come on. Yes, Kate Love. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Kate Love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, what is it? You got to answer it.
Oh, it looks like a KKK.
Yeah, exactly. You all knew that, right? You just didn't want to say it because you didn't want to get involved, right? Okay, yeah. It basically, and what was the thing about when we run events, if something goes wrong, what do we do? What we should do is own it. And this was a beautiful thing. The book went crazy because we were helping brands have a system to be brave, and then when things go wrong, just admit it, and everything is okay, because people have short memories, believe it or not. So here we go. This is another one of my favorite ones, real quick. This is me walking down Baker Street, feeling a bit peckish, but on my way to the pub, and I didn't want the food to get into the way, because, you know, British drinking culture is amazing. And what did I notice about KFC? What was missing from KFC? Which letter for bonus points? Who said the C? Thank you. I'm just gonna, you look very comfortable. So there you go. Those will come back, and you can use those to throw things at me later. So again, they'd run out of KF, they'd run out of effing C, which I thought was just crazy. Liz told you I just come from Cannes. This one at Cannes Lions. Does anyone see anything beautiful and holy and right about the changing of those letters? Is that not just quick and clever? I'm getting a couple of quick and clever nods here, and everyone else is saying, that's a swear word. Thank you, I like you. So yeah, they just literally changed the letters and said, we're sorry. This is the kind of quick thinking event people have to have as well. As I breathe, you'll never have to unsee this, because Germany were beating the host. This is my favorite news jack of all time, then I'm gonna get on to the point. Germany were beating the host Brazil. What was the score? Does anybody remember the final score in the World Cup? 7-1, yeah. This was when it was 6-1. A radio station put this out, and it makes me want to dance. I'm not going to ask for volunteers. Oh, watch this. Watch it work, just because I need it to work. Callum, can this work at all? Luke, is this going to work at all or no? Nope. Oh, it's not happening? Okay, cool. Well, I'll just tell you what happened. I acted out better. So literally, a big German stein of beer just comes and shatters the hell out of the thing, and it was an ad for a radio station. It was done while the match was still going, and it launched my book, and everyone was like, wow, we could do this real-time thing at live events. And this is the magic, and this is what creates this thing that I'm going to talk about, the kinetic community. So, again, this kind of fervor of going to events and using social media sort of put the book on the map, made it a short list of the word of the year, and then I just come and have these holy moments at events. And this is the kind of thing that is insanely creative and what you guys would call a royal waste of money. How much, those of you who deal with the budgets, how much would a 12-foot smoker that actually can track your brain waves and kind of tell how much you're enjoying a piece of pulled pork and or beef brisket barbecue, how much would that cost GE to make? Any guesses? Does anybody say $1? More? Okay, good. $250,000. And you're like, I've never had that kind of budget, and what a waste. 10 years on, are they still using this on college campuses? And have they done it like around 100 times a year? Yes. And that is the magic of coming up with a brave idea that works once, but the whole intention was we're going to get a lot of maximum value out of that. So I think these kinds of brave ideas are worth the capital expenditure. And I've talked with loads of people about how that has actually helped GE, and it was value for money, even though it cost a lot in the uptake. Now let's go to something a little, since you just had lunch, let's go to something a little lighter than barbecue, which is a bit heavy, and that is one of the most creative executions was a company that, believe it or not, they made phone chargers, and they had an opportunity for you to pet a St. Bernard and get free beer. Can anybody tell what the brand relevance is of this idea from that photo? Anyone? Obviously, the dogs were going around charging phones. You just stuck your phone in the barrel. And I'm telling you, my phone's running out right now as it's recording this for my lawyer. And I would love to go and pet a Bernard and get some phone juice. And these are the kinds of lovely little touches that just warm me up. I'm a dog person. We're one of them cliches. We got a dog during lockdown. Curiosity. Is anybody excited about the word, or do people have toddlers in the home? Somebody's got to be excited about the word curiosity. Like, I used it in this big font because I'm excited about it. But the reality is, Thomas Edison's a lot smarter than me, and he says Related to that, what do you think the greatest invention in the world is? I really need either this team or that team, one of you, to answer this question. Greatest invention in the world according to Thomas Edison. I can pick on the people I know, or I can pick on the people that I just point to. Electricity, going once, wrong. Yeah, thank you, Joe. Yes. Gin. There has never been a more perfect answer. Can she stay, Liz, for the drinks? We're talking. So other than gin, it is the mind of a child. Anybody have the most curious animal on the planet in their actual home right now, whether it's at sports day or not? Do you have a 4-year-old?
Yes, I do.
No, I hate to be sexist. Are they female? Yes. Joe, this is it. So the studies are out. The most curious animal on the planet is the human female 4-year-old. Now, how many questions does she ask a day? I need to know, Joe. I'm dying. How many minutes are in the day? That's a math question. Someone who does budgets knows that. A lot?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody venture a guess? Okay, 200. That's how many? 200. And a why only counts as one. That's how many brainstorms have you done where you've come up with at least 200 questions on how we could do this event differently? Kate's shaking her head, which makes me think that means no. You probably haven't, right? It's a rare thing, but I keep on going, and I'm very annoying in brainstorms because I just know that we can come up with something different. Again, it's the mind of a child. Could we, for the next event we do at PwC even, could we have one session only and interrogate like a toddler? I would love to know the results of that because Walt, who I talked about in the morning session, Walt says all ideas come from this sort of 4-year-old girl thing, curiosity. And again, the power of this provocative inquiry. And I've actually gone and interviewed the master, and I'll tell you, this is like, does this evoke? I'm going to sit down. Does this evoke curiosity at all? Like, I am not curious about her bathwater in any way. So there are things that are just wrong, but this guy created this sort of naked diagram thing, which has a lot to do with medicine and science. He is the captain of curiosity, and if he wasn't dead for 504 years, I would have interviewed him. Leonardo da Vinci has literally written the book on events, on event management and being more curious. He basically said, for that brainstorm where Joe's bringing her toddler, free babysitting, are you being passionately curious about how we're going to take this event to the next level? Have you observed all the things that happened last time, and have you kind of categorized what could have been improved? Sometimes people don't even do that. And have you been, wait for it, playfully imaginative? Fun actually has a place in our industry, I promise. This is insane, the level of playful imagination and careful observation. I just don't even know how to explain this to you. I'm just going to go on and ask a question. How many of you have studied the length of a woodpecker's tongue? Well, guess what? Leonardo was obsessed with it. I would venture to say that in an event, if there's a detail there that you think there could be some magic in, please obsess of it. Just call it, can we Leonardo tongue it? Can we Leonardo tongue it? That sounds rude, actually. Can we woodpecker tongue it? Can we woodpecker tongue it? Because I don't think you'll be able to unsee this. Can I get just a vote from the winning team of how many times a woodpecker can wrap his tongue around his head? Just guess. 10, I like that. 9. Can we go lower because that would be insane? Like, have you ever seen a woodpecker? 3. Oh, these are my people. Yes. We literally have a connection. 3. And here is literally what you can't unsee. Oh, don't tell me the videos aren't going to work, Callum. They're not going to be able to see that. Yes. Woo, baby. One more time. Come on. Yeah, let's see if I can track it. Let me see if I can track it again. Ooh, baby. That is, sorry, you can't unsee that. The guy's an idiot. Can we all agree Leonardo is an idiot? No, we can't. We just think he was different. We think he was dynamically different. And maybe we should be a little bit more like that. I'm just going to pose that and breathe for 1 second. Could you question your beliefs on what a good event is? Could you question the things that you have always assumed about what that type of event is? Hey, I was talking to Kate, and I'm not going to mention names, don't worry. But some clients are just stuck in sponsoring old events that they shouldn't sponsor anymore. If they could maybe ditch that and sponsor something new, like your event, that could be better. Again, prevailing wisdom. And then I love this, asking why, but then the ballsier thing is asking why not? Why can't we not? So if someone says, why not? Why can't we do that? Someone shuts you the frick down, just say, why not? Because I think we're actually afraid to say why not, genuinely. Here we go. Favorite words, not mine, Mario's. Possibility, opportunity, curiosity. Let me just meditate on those for a second. Okay, done. How curious are you? 1 to 10. I need a 1. Going once. 2. Raise your hands if the number represents your curiosity level. 10 is like crazy curious, like squirrel-like. 3, 7. No, Liz is 7. 8, 9. Who didn't vote? Come on. So basically, these are your options. You're either squirrel-like or you're owl-like. Can I actually call you guys, since you're my favorite, the squirrel team? And can I call you, since you're going to be my favorite after you kick their asses, the owl team? Because you guys are smart and older, wiser. But this is the problem we have with events. We think all of a sudden that our audience knows, like Liz said something about, we'll just do this little fun bit in the corner here and everyone will think it's great. We think we know what our audience knows, but the reality is they just need to know a little bit. Like they need to have heard, like the guy Andy today. I was so worried that you guys were not going to raise your hands when he said, have you heard of ChatGPT? And everyone had, of course. But it's like, you got to know just a little bit. And then because everyone in the room had used it, everyone was like willing to go on the curiosity journey with Andy. And this is the gap that we got to find for our events. They got to know just a little bit. It can't just be like freaking weird, like a woodpecker's tongue. This is the kind of stuff that my squirrels do. It's this restless desire for the new and the next. These people are hard to deal with in meetings, but I like them. These people over here, so I just had to give you a little bit of that. These people over here will definitely not go into clickbait land, because clickbait land is way too diversive and restless and a little bit irresponsible. They're more, that's a more considered approach. This is about knowledge and understanding. That's epistemic, which I just like saying. But again, I've coined this thing called constant curiosity, because this is what I think we need to do better brainstorms for events. And it basically starts with sparking this question, this toddler-like question, and it is this relentless, again, I had to repeat that word, consistent obsession with customer needs. So we did a lesson here that involved audience interaction this morning. And I said, all the 40-year-olds sit on the front row. And I played some music that I know the 40-year-olds plus. Some people reminded me that there's people older than 40 in the room. But anyway, the 40-year-olds plus got the songs. And it, again, does your data tell you everything about who you are? Or could you maybe do a little bit more pub research on what those needs are? My answer to that question is always, I have not been in the pub enough. I have not done enough research with my people. And again, the really good-looking Danish man will tell you that if we're going to make a memory at an event, we're going to have to know our people. We're going to have to know that sort of Tim actually has literally had Nancy Sinatra's actual track of the original in his hands, and he's a fan. Like, I'm going to know that detail enough that I play that song for him in my session. Again, if we're going to make memories for people, we got to know them better. And I genuinely think we're not knowing our people as well as we could. Could be wrong on that. But again, this is just to get me pumped again.
Take a walk on the wild side.
New people, do you recognize any of these tracks? I'm pointing at you. No? You don't recognize? Oh, you do? Yes? Yes? No, do you not know any of these? Do you know any of these? Okay. This one I think you'll like a lot. This one here. Not this one, I'll tell you. can you not stand up for this? This is crazy. That last one really gets me. Again, tools. Let's not be a tool or blame a tool. Let's literally look at the tools. Have you thought about the next event, and have you used tools like BuzzSumo just to find out everything that Google has ever asked? Everything that anyone's ever typed that's a question into Google, or another one called Bing. Not sure about that one, but they all go into BuzzSumo, and it's just a beautiful tool. I use it daily, or if you're a cheapskate, you can use another one called Answer the Public, because it's technically free. So, again, we started off with what if we do this? That's curiosity. Now, I need 2 volunteers, and I can promise you, you will not die. I need 1 from my squirrels and 1 from my owls. Who's it going to be? Joe's going to stop me at any time. If the finger of destiny lands on you, then you coming up with me. Joe, stop me at any time. Oh no, Rita, you've been bypassed. Thank you. I won't touch you because that's against HR, but you come on up. And just what I need you to do is face the screen and sort of hold your hands out like this, like you're receiving a gift, but you're not allowed to know what the gift is. You have to feel it, and then you have to whisper to Joe, I'm going to need you up here, what it is. I need 1 from this team. Ellie, could you stop me at any time? Yes. Come on up. What's your name again? No, you. Kim? Okay. Kim came in late and thought she was going to get away with it. So step right up there. And here we go. Did you see that? No. Promise?
I didn't. I was looking out the window.
Oh, remind me your name.
Kaylee.
Kaylee and Kim. Love it. Nice Kardashian names. Let's see. There isn't a Kaylee. I made that up. It's something else that rhymes. Kylie. Got that totally wrong. Okay, guys, you're going to have to close your eyes because you're going to be curious. Feel it with your hands. Don't look at it. Just feel it with your hands. You need to identify it, and you need to whisper it to Joe. Yeah, because we can't have Kim hearing it. La 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 la. Are you done? La 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 la. We only have 11 minutes. It's like wasting some of my critical time, you know. You would have thought I would have planned for it, you know. This is going to be like an essay. It literally is one word. La la. Okay, good. La 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 la. Okay. Now turn around. Joe, you turn around and face the pain. What did they think it was?
A squeezy ice cream toy.
I love you. I get that a lot. Yes! Oh, wow, this team is winning. This team will soon be winning. Thank you, Kaylee. Kaylee. Oh, I was thinking Jenner. Kim, thank you very much. Brilliant. Now, the reason I do that is because there's a brand that I don't want to mention directly because this is being filmed. They're called Google. And they tried to do events in Japan, and they decided they would do some desk research. This is why you do desk research, I think. And they said, we're going to love the Japanese are going to love us. So they created a poo emoji, and they basically forgot to put the face on it. So they forgot to put the face on it, and they made it an interactive emoji with heat emanating from it and flies circling it. Do you think they missed the brief? Aletha, I think that look said, yes, they missed the brief. This is, I would genuinely say, our desk research just tells us something about an event, and we don't want to Japanese poo emoji it like they did. Just to make the point at South by, I printed out my business card on this, as Kaylee calls it, the ice cream cone. And by the way, just because one person said this was like a nipple doesn't mean that it could ever be accused of being a nipple. Just going to throw that out there. Okay, that was it. Look at that. Disgusting. Disgusting. So here we go. And again, they fought to have everyone forget that it happened. So again, a rude quote, but I have to have a rude quote here in my last 9 minutes with you. and that is Lady Gaga. She's very brave, but to have a tweet-tastic moment, I think it's very hard to even use the word irresponsible in a brainstorm. But I think we have to start there just to get somewhere, and then we can ladder it back. I think our brainstorms sometimes, for creativity in events, they don't go far enough. And again, your story idea, you could even replace the word event there if you wanted. Now, my other favorite example, I was just in Belfast, and I looked there, and the Titanic studios were right there in downtown Belfast. And then I looked, and I found out, oh my God, I have context for my favorite story, because someone was responsible for making, what's this character's name again? Jon Snow, for making his coat, and they forgot. So they had to, I literally saw exactly what they did. They went to a store around the corner from Titanic Studios, and what do you think that coat is made of? A rug. Who said that? Oh, bonus point. Oh my God, this team is literally back in the lead. You guys are failing. How many rugs? Oh my God, you're good. Wow. Oh, wow. We know each other, don't we? No, we don't. Okay. Yeah, 4 rugs. And again, the beautiful thing, when I talked to the head of the Netherlands for IKEA, she said the entire company turned this into the biggest newsjacking event the company has ever had, where they all tried to come up with some creative real-time newsjack of this news when it came out. And the IKEA is just around the corner from the studios. I was just there 2 days ago. This is the kind of creative thinking. Is it fair to say that things go wrong at events? Every time or just once? I would say probably, what is it, 50% of events or more? Every time. Thank you for being honest. And I just think some of this sort of quick IKEA rug coat thinking is what we need. Now this blows me away. The blue lady, the blue people, what are they called again? Avatar. Now, I was working in Birmingham for an architectural firm. They make architectural software called CAD. You heard of CAD? And they told me this story, so I threw it in the deck. Love the people from the Midlands. And they said, you do know that our architectural software had never been used for films, ever. We do architecture. And some idiot was thinking dynamically different and asked them, could they make blue people? And of course, that idiot was James Cameron. And I love that a boring company that does it for architecture literally didn't come up with it as their own idea. James Cameron went to them and said, could you do a little bit of your architecturally thing, and could you do it over for our thing? So my question, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is what industry can we rip stuff off from outside of the events world? I have loads of examples of this if that did not land with you because you're freaked out by her pointy ears. So again, find your crazy customers. Can I tell you one quick thing that's not on the slides? Is that okay, Aletha? Okay. I struggled with Samsung. They wouldn't let me do anything fun. Nothing, zero, zilch, nada. So I asked them to give me the thing they cared about the least. And they literally, I'm telling you, literally rolled it out to me and said, we don't care at all about this product. Why don't you do it? Why don't you newsjack this? What motion am I doing here? Yes, exactly. They gave me Samsung Hoovers to newsjack. Who cares about that? A lot of people. And we had a hell of a lot of fun with it. Is there some kind of analogy in the world of events? Is there something, some aspect of events where you could have a little bit more of a sandbox? Could you think about little opportunities? Not just what Liz was saying about doing it over in the corner. Is there something non-cornerish that you could have a little bit of Samsung Hoover fun? Now, in our 5 minutes to literally land the plane like along the Thames, here we go. Dynamism. Do your events have enough energy, or as you can read, drive force, or my favorite word is oomph. Oomph. And again, this is what I love asking. If you were curious, you would have sparked a question, but then it's violating expectation, like me doing something fun for Samsung Hoovers. And then again, what I hope you'll take away is that there are ways we can build excitement around event, and next year is going to be easier. because we've grown a bunch of fans of this stuff. They love what we did for PwC. They love what we did for that food company that Ilya works for that I can't even pronounce. Again, storytelling is where it's at. Business stories, you're thinking this is not playtime here. But business stories are different. How? Of course they're different because they're solving problems. All you've ever done with an event is solve a problem. That's what you do. You're problem solvers. I love that. But the power of story comes when I'm talking too fast, but it basically comes down to, like I was telling Tim, this jacket sold for $1.8 million because there's a story behind it. Again, in a newsjacking way, I found out on Sunday night that one of my heroes in the world of basketball sold his jacket for $1.5 million. There's stories behind things. So I'd love for you to think about some objects related to your events that you could inject stories, that could get people talking. Word of mouth is the most powerful thing. Is there anything you can inject into your experience that is just an object that people would pick up and tweet about or thread about or Instagram about? And again, it all comes down to the horse mug. The horse mug was bought from a New York charity shop. That charity shop literally was laughing all their way to the bank. Some idiot called Rob walked into a New York charity shop and bought $128 worth of crap like the horse mug. You can see where the handle is, right? You guys get that. I need one person to guess if that costs 99 cents, if you put it on eBay and literally you said, we've made up these stories. These are lies, but they're really well told lies. And then you got a famous author, and you named him or her, to write an amazing story. Like, what if a little girl, it was her favorite horsey mug. She was really big into the equestrian horse jumping thing, or riding, whatever they call it. And she took it up to the Eiffel Tower, and her brother was fighting with her and just like, shoved her, and she dropped it. Devastation, absolute devastation. She ran down the Eiffel Tower, and it had magically landed in someone's bag. And it was literally, the attendant was waiting there at the bottom, and it was just all happy, joyful horses and rainbows and unicorns. And again, that's the kind of magic. So 99 cents, but with a story. Does a story add the value? Does anybody think that mug sold for $10? Over $10. $20 going once. 30? Anyone saying 50? Yes? Okay. $62.99. Could you inject stories into your events that are 62, I think if I'm doing my maths right, 6,200% better, and it will create memories. As I land the plane here, I want you to think about this. If one of these is the definition of a story, then I really should walk off the stage, because that's not a story at all. As I leave you, I want you to think that what's missing from these definitions is the thing that you guys do as world builders, as people who transform brands by putting them to life where it's tangible for people. As you go and do that, it's the transformation that's missing. And again, light blue slides is something to remember. Something happens to someone we care about, and it's quite a struggle, but they change for the better in a surprising way. Essentially, if I had more time, I would wax lyrical on the fact that are your events, do they have enough spark where you care about the attendee? Is there enough struggle where you get where the people are coming from and you meet their need, you solve their problem? And the crucial thing for creativity at your event, and I'd love to talk with you about it in the pub upstairs, is surprise. This is the emotion that caps all the other emotions. It is the most important thing that you can do to inject surprise. There's one drug that I promised I would end on, and that drug is dopamine. I could do a whole hour on dopamine alone, and how the fact that it's this anticipation of reward. Like, you guys are anticipating me getting off the stage and us being able to eventually drink beer and wine. That's your anticipation, that's your reward. I challenge you to look at this and think, do we know enough about our audience? Are we meeting their needs in every way, and also meeting their needs before they even know it's a need? And are we injecting enough surprise? You've been amazing. I haven't given you opportunities to throw enough things at me, but that is fine because you've been a good audience. Can we say that because of our friend in the back there, is it a tie or did the squirrels beat the owls? Tie? Tie, okay. And our biggest, I think the book should go to, wasn't there a woman who recognized it as a poo emoji? And even though she came in late, you know what? She was brave. If you're Kim, can you come up and get this and we'll take a picture wherever you are. She's here. Is that embarrassing? I think it might be. Yeah. We'll do a picture afterwards. Liz can kick me off stage now, but thank you so much for listening, all of you people. You there.